The Refold method is based on consuming media in your target language and learning from that media. But especially as a beginner, learning things is hard to do if what you're watching keeps going at full speed. By the time you've opened the dictionary to look up a word, the show has kept on moving and you forgot how to even spell the original word you didn't know. You could pause every time you notice something, but then you'd still have to make sure you spelled it right, and heaven forbid it's part of a phrase or something more complicated than just a single word you want to look up. But this is 2023. There's definitely ways to make immersing in media easier and more smooth. And today, I want to share with you the best tool that I know that solves this issue. And the best part, it's so simple with the issues it tries to solve that it's useful for practically everyone. Let's learn about ASB Player. This video is going to cover a few different things, and I'm going to choose to leave some other stuff for a different video. Today, I'm just going to show you how to set up the tool and start using it with a few other simple options. I'll show you some tricks I've learned while using it as well. And then next week, I'm going to make a follow-up video about how you can use ASB Player to automatically create Anki cards that look like this. But that's for a more in-depth video. This video is going to, hopefully, show you how you can vastly improve your immersion experience in less than 5 minutes of setup. To download the program, click on the link in the description, and then scroll down until you see some blue links in the first Assets section. Then download the top one. It should have a name like ASB Player-extension and then some numbers. If you're watching this in the future, you may have slightly higher numbers than I do, but that's totally fine. Once you click it, it'll download. So you want to check this little arrow to show in folder. Now, you'll need to extract this zip file. For me, I right-click and choose extract here, but you'll likely have a slightly different process. For Mac, you can just double-click, and for Windows, there's a different name for it. And then we'll need to move this folder. We no longer need the zip file, so you can delete that, but this folder needs to go somewhere safe. I'll put this on my desktop by clicking desktop and then adding a new folder called Immersion Tools, I guess. Then I'll drag the folder into there, and now it's safe and sound. So let's go back to Chrome and go to the address chrome://extensions, which you can paste from the description of the video. In the top right, make sure developer mode is enabled, and then click on the new Load Unpacked button in the top left. Now you'll need to navigate back to that file you just unzipped. It'll be where you put it. So I click on desktop, then the subfolder, and then click on the ASB Player-extension, and then hit select or OK or whatever's in the top right there. And now it's installed. Great job. To make sure it's accessible, click on the little puzzle piece icon in the top corner and hit the pin ASB Player so it's always visible. And I'm just going to restart Chrome to make sure everything is working fine. While the default settings will work totally fine, I'd like to change a few things. I click on the ASB logo and then change the subtitle offset to 150. I just like a little more space between the bottom of the screen and the subtitles. Then I turn on Load Auto-Detected Subtitles. But that's it, you're totally ready to go now. Let's find a random YouTube video to try things out on. I have one to use as an example, so let me paste that in. And as you can see, it brings up this box to load in the subtitles. I can choose whichever subtitle track I want. This one only has the one option, so I'll load it in. It does take a moment, but then you have the subtitles from your ASB Player displayed. Make sure to turn off the YouTube subtitles so that it doesn't double up. Now, you're able to pause at any point and copy and paste the subtitles into a dictionary. I also have Vocab Sieve running, which will automatically look up the words I copy if I select single word lookups. I find that Vocab Sieve doesn't get everything for check though, so I also have DeepL's extension to look up words and sentences. If you want to try out Vocab Sieve, watch this video above my head here, and the DeepL extension can be added from a link in the description. You can also press Shift and P to turn on auto pausing, which is super helpful when you're watching something that's too fast or goes above your level and gives you time to work through the sentences and understand more than if you just pressed play. You can also use the arrow keys to seek between subtitle lines. The left and right arrow keys move you back and forth one line at a time, and the down arrow replays the current line. It's great for listening to difficult sentences again and again. You can also hold Control, Shift, and press the various brackets to slightly speed up or slow down the audio. This gives you a little extra time to listen to things. Try not to rely too much on it though, because at some point you will need to be at full speed. It's just an extra tool in your tool belt. One last thing I want to show you before I end the video. You'll need a subtitle file for everything you're going to use ASB Player with because that's how it knows what to do. There's a short list of websites that it can automatically grab subtitles from, like it did from YouTube, But if you're not using one of those sites, you'll need to know where else you can find the subtitles. Currently, this process is a bit technical, but it's the only way that I'm aware of. If someone makes a tool that makes this process easier, I'll make a video about it and link it above my head, but for now, this is the best I've got. When you load a subtitle on a streaming site, it needs to grab that file from somewhere. So we can open the secret hacker panel by pressing F12 and then go to the network tab. This is where Chrome is keeping track of all the little parts being sent to your computer. And if you have this open, then load the subtitles, they'll be sent in here somewhere. The problem is there isn't just a big nice arrow showing, hey, here they are. Instead, you need to sift through the files and find the one you're looking for. Subtitle files are going to end in .srt or .vtt. There are some others, but I haven't seen them used by a streaming service. .vtt is what I see on most websites and I think is the most common. And so you'll want to look around for a .vtt file. You may need to reload the page and enable/disable the subs a few times to locate it. But the nice thing is that once you get it once, you'll be able to find it for all of the other shows on that same streaming service. Now, click on that subtitle file and it should directly download. If not, it'll open in another tab and you can copy and paste everything into a text editor and save it as a .vtt file. Now you see what I mean about it being a bit technical. Then, to load these subs into ASP Player, press F12 again to get rid of the hacker panel, and then just drag the subtitles on top of the video. And there you go. Just like it was on YouTube. You can now use all the same features I covered earlier. That's everything for today. I wanted to keep this video pretty short and sweet just to get you started with ASP Player. Try it out and see what you think. I've been loving it for my learning. It's so useful. The fact that it just works on any random streaming site is awesome. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss the next video about automatic sentence mining. I'm super excited. But I'll see you next time, and until then, happy immersing.